The Hicks are one hungover bunch. They're hungry, but it's too early for lunch. Goldstein gives the hockey twits a lesson on performing a mitzvah, while the Hicks go to Modean's for brunch.
That fresh produce stand there, that's a beauty.
What do you listen to?
My favorite murder podcast.
Taggart and Torrance podcast.
The produce stand.
Fucking sexy.
It's Freaky Friday, and that means we are once again hanging out at the Produce Stand, a podcast paying tribute to the great Canadian show Letterkenny. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this one is sick, tight, hype. I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room as always is lovely Tanya, and online we have Squirrely Matt, the verklempt Victor, and joining us tonight, performing her mitzvah for the year, she is the moderator on the Letterkenny subreddit and Discord. She's a frequent contributor on our DM group, a Patreon, and a mensch. She's a real mensch. Please join me in making some noise for Awesome.
Wondrous. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wait.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I regret nothing.
Welcome to the Produce Stand. Awesome.
I'll take being a mensch. Absolutely.
See, I did a little bit of research to try to get that intro right.
Good for you.
What is it?
You didn't say when.
Shabbat Shalom, or is it Shalom Shabbat?
It's Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So happy Sabbath for you. And
thank you.
Welcome to the Produce Stand once again. Since we kind of already know each other, we're just going to get right into it.
How are you now?
Tonight's
Great.
lineup will be Al, Victor, Tanya, Matt, and our guest, Awesome, will have the final word. So my week, it's been quite the eventful week. I mean, last Saturday we had our get together. We finally got together and broke bread with each other in person at the Keg Steakhouse in Vaughan, and I got to share the lovely ornaments that Heather Trollinger made for us, and it was amazing. We had a great time. I think we had a really fun time. It was a packed house there.
Yes.
But what a meal, man. I was so full at the end of it, but there's always room for Billy Miner pie. So so that was fun.
That's the truth.
Yeah. And a couple other things. I started watching Secession this week on Victor's recommendation. So far, so good. There's a lot of despicable characters in this show. I'm waiting to see some of them hopefully redeem themselves. But at the very least, there's Kieran Culkin, who's by far the most talented of the Culkins. Wow, he's such a great actor.
Is he in that?
Yeah,
he's one of he's one of the main guys.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. And yesterday, I as soon as it came out, I started to get back the Beatles doc, and I'm loving this. It is so good. Like, it's like you're watching history. Like, you're watching them write these amazing songs. Like, the moment that they come to life, that they're born, and it's amazing. I highly recommend it. So far, there's 2 parts. I watched the first part and about a quarter through the second part, and I'm just loving it. I don't want it to end. It's such a great documentary. Nothing to say. That highly recommend it. Victor, how about you?
On the weekend, got together with a bunch of DJs and had a good time. Related to loosely related to your Beatles. Did you see the movie yesterday?
Yes, I love that movie.
Yeah, it was fun. That was a fun movie.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah. So that's a recommend for sure. Mm-hmm. And we started watching another show this week, The Shrink Next Door.
The what?
The Shrink Next Door.
Will Ferrell and
is that any good?
What's his name?
Not a huge Will Ferrell fan. But...
Paul Rudd.
All right.
Rudd, yeah. So I'm not a Will Ferrell fan at all, to be honest, but except I liked him in Elf, but really nothing else. And he's really good in this. But it's a very uneasy show. Like, it's not a show that you can watch and relax and feel good and laugh, because there's you're just waiting for the comeuppance. You're waiting for something bad to happen, and you're just hoping. You're hoping it will turn out in a good way.
Okay.
But you just have this terrible feeling that it's not. And if it doesn't turn out in a good way, you feel like you would have been duped, and you would have invested this time in a show that you're going to end up hating at the end of it.
Right.
So we're watching it with much trepidation. So that's
that's always good in a show. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway,
well, I gotta say, I'm watching Succession in the same way. I'm like watching it, just going, I'm not a fan of any of these characters. They're all really horrible people.
Yeah, exactly. Then that one is a little easier because you're not rooting for anybody really, because they're all scum.
Right.
But with this one, like, it's a real spectrum. So yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to say anymore. You watch it for yourself, decide. But,
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, that reminds me. We Tanya and I did watch and finish Only Murders in the Building. That's the one with Steve Martin, Martin Short, and what's her name, the singer.
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez. Yeah. And it was surprisingly good. We enjoyed it. Like I had no expectation of it. So, but it really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I heard good things about it too. Just not enough for me to want to watch it.
If you like a whodunit kind of thing, and if you're a fan of either Steve Martin and or Martin Short, you should watch it. And Selena Gomez is actually really good in it too. So yeah, highly recommend. Tanya, how's your week?
I've had probably one of the most exhausting weeks thus far.
We heard that one before, Tanya.
I know, right? I'm like on repeat. But like, just to tell you, my brain is so not at full strength or working properly at all. I went to change the load of laundry and before coming on, and I somehow emptied out the dryer, started loading the washer, and then I'm like, well, what's in the dryer? And I'm like, oh my God, I put the dirty clothes on top of the clean clothes. I didn't take the clean clothes out. I just made more in there. And I'm like, so brain's not working. Brain is not working.
So this should be fun tonight.
Oh yeah.
We will take advantage.
Yes. Sorry. So y'all have to carry me on this one. It's just not going well. But we got the Christmas tree up, so that was a nice thing to do this week.
Yeah.
It's not December yet.
It's after Remembrance Day.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
I make her wait until after Remembrance Day, or else she'd have it up like November 1st. So at least I got that.
And we got one warm day out of this week. I think we had like a +7, and I'm like, oh, we got to get on that. So in the middle, like it was quite dark outside, and I'm like, we got to hang the lights now outside. We got to do this before we go any further. So, Alan was rather not happy with the idea of trying to hang lights and not being able to see what's going on.
I mean, admittedly, they're easier to see, but the objects you're hanging them on is not easier to see. So it got a little treacherous, but anyway, we got it done. No one was hurt. No one was injured in that act. Matt, how's your week?
Yeah. I mean, I think like Tanya, my week was a little fuckery, but I'm going to focus on the good. So yeah, dinner was a blast. That was so much fun. Victor, I'll have to tell you, you won Jen over. She thought you were fucking hysterical between the bocconcini fight and the double serving of dessert. She couldn't get enough of you. So good on you, bud.
Can't take Victor anywhere.
Oh my God. And now, did anyone catch it? My favorite part of the whole night was it was kind of a silent moment when our server came over and leaned in, and she was talking with Victor. She's like, he's passionate, isn't he? And I felt sorry for the couple sitting beside us, but oh my God, I haven't laughed that hard in a while. So thank you guys. That was a fun night.
Yeah. You just have to wind Victor up and he'll entertain you for the whole night.
It was so good. But aside from that, yeah, I mean, I haven't put the tree up, but we put the lights up. We took advantage of the nice day as well. The other thing that was weird. So Jen has asked me, she's like, what do you want for Christmas? And I don't know if I'm just at that age where I just don't want things or need things anymore. I don't have an answer for her.
Yeah. She's anything you want, you buy, right? You don't need it.
Well, and I literally, there's nothing I want. And so the only thing I wanted was a video game, which I bought myself because she won't actually buy me video games. And I don't play a lot of games, but she's made it very clear I'm not ever going to support that. So I went out and bought myself a Zelda game earlier this week, and I love it. I've been playing it. So I'm good. I don't need anything else. So There's that. And then my stickers arrived.
Yes.
Yay!
Crystal did not stiff me. The Letterkenny leave did not happen. They did arrive, and they're fantastic. And now I'm just in the struggle of figuring out where the hell to put them. I pinged her actually earlier, laughing because I feel like it's the toughest decision I've made all week because I don't know which sticker and where to put on my car. And I actually sat there with the group of them, holding them up against my car for like a half hour earlier today, and I still, there's nothing on the car.
Well, if you want to catch other Letterkenny fans, the only one to put on your bumper is the allegedly one. That's
and I drive a small Mazda 3 hatchback.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like it's one of the newer ish models, so it's got a good slope. I kind of want to put it on the window, but I feel like it's too much of a slope. I don't know. I'm way overthinking this thing.
Yes, it sounds like it.
So I will eventually get a sticker on my car. The rest, I don't know where I'm going to put them or what I'm going to do with them, but I
Put
have
one on your laptop.
Yeah.
Well, I thought about that too. The only laptop I have is a work laptop, which I'm not opposed to doing, but I feel like my work lease is almost up, and I don't want to waste the sticker.
Yeah,
so I need to figure out when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So then I can do that. So I've thought that I told you I'm way overthinking this.
Yes, you are.
Put it on your glasses.
Yes, Tanya.
So
Yes,
I have a suggestion.
Please.
When sometimes I'm having a struggle with where to put the sticker, I just use some double-sided tape and just put it there temporarily, and then feel it for a little bit.
Live with it.
See it, look at it, and then when you're ready to commit, then slap it on.
All right.
Oh, I have a great idea for you. You know how you cut those little holes for your nipples in the shirt? Put them on your nipple.
There you go. Those could be your pasties. Okay,
Give your balls a tug right on my nipple.
Okay, speaking of balls, I wanted to talk to you about balls.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
So I had this conversation with my parents this week.
Okay. Whoa.
Yeah.
There's way too many questions already.
So my family for Christmas, we pull names, and then we have to say, give 3, like we pull names and we buy for that person that we pulled, whatever. And
it's called the Secret Santa.
Secret Santa, sure. So
it's new. I know. If you haven't heard
I
about
know,
it,
right? Right? Oh my God. I told you people, I am not on the ball today. So, okay. So my dad says that he wants nuts. And so that prompted me to think about sacks, underwear, and nuts and where you can stick them. So I tell my parents about, and they killed themselves laughing like so hard, both of them. And while I'm talking, my dad is looking it up to find out what the description is and killing himself laughing even harder. And then just to add to it, Alan put it on his wish list of what he would like for my family to buy him.
As he should.
Sacks
underwear. Yeah. Anyways, it was very comical. So thanks for the laugh.
I treated
again.
myself to 5 new pairs, actually.
Do they come with different ball sizes?
No, there's no Magnum.
Right, like if you're outsize, what do? Do you just like squish them in there? Or?
Oh man, that sounds painful. Yeah,
it's not as complicated as it sounds, but they're wonderful. I've had a very pleasant week.
Well, you wouldn't want them loose, or else then it really kind of loses its.
Oh, that's the whole point of
it.
Unless you're trying to conceive, then you definitely want them loose, right?
Oh, well, I'm done.
No,
I've been there, done that.
They're
got the T-shirt, got the
loose.
2 kids upstairs. They're done.
Yeah, they're still very loose. It's just a divider.
Yes,
that's all it is.
And they're
it's a
mesh.
Wonderful, wonderful divider. Makes your life so much more heavenly.
There you go.
That's it.
Sacks, we're looking for sponsors. Awesome.
Yeah, at Sacks on Twitter.
Happy late belated Turkey Day there, Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, thank you.
And happy Black Friday today.
Oh, fuck Black Friday, y'all. Seriously.
Hey, give me your opinion on this, Awesome. I get a kick out of this every year, especially in the US, knowing that the day of thanks is immediately followed with the day of binge shopping for shit.
Well, I mean, late stage capitalism, what are you going to do? Right. Me personally, stay the fuck home. Like, don't, because especially this year, it's been really, really blatant. Like, places are not actually having Black Friday sales. They put their prices up, and then they have like the Black Friday pre-sale, so they can say, oh, we knocked 25% off it. And then on Black Friday itself, it's still just 25% off that already inflated price. So you're not actually getting a deal.
Yeah.
Like, There's no point. There is no point. It is just mass consumerism, and it's stupid. It is so stupid. Just fucking search online for a discount. Yeah. Stay the fuck home. Mm-hmm. Please do not make retail people have to keep turning out for this farce.
Well, that's not going to happen, but I agree with you for sure. I 100% agree with you.
But how was your week?
Yeah, how was your week? Yes. Other than that,
sorry, I derailed us a bit there.
Was the family dinner, peaceful?
Yeah, it was. It was just me, my husband, his parents, and his brother and sister, and their 2 kids. Mm-hmm. And, we just had like a nice quiet dinner, not, busy or anything. Tomorrow I'm going over to my mom's family. We're just going to have a game night because my uncle is in town. He lives out of state. Fun.
You going to play Letterkenny Monopoly? Did you see that that's out?
I have seen that. Yeah, I've known that was coming down the pipe for a while. The other thing is, no, I don't have a copy yet. I'm hoping to score one. Oh. No, but the other thing is, I've just been trying to keep on top of like Bell Media and New Metrics, like press releases about Letterkenny and posting about it and trying to like cross over to Twitter and making sure everybody knows and just trying to hype up the show. That's me.
I figure in another week or so, we're due for another video of some kind, another teaser.
Slightly less than a week.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, the same thing happened last year, so that's what I'm expecting. Last year, they posted that whole cold open with the accent, so I'm hoping that they do something similar this year.
That is the plan. Mm-hmm. That is the plan.
All right. Well, Tanya, you said you were pretty tired. Do you need a coffee?
Yes.
Victor, do you need a coffee?
I'd have a coffee.
Matt, how about you?
Surprised we're not having coffee right now.
Great, because as you know, Diabolical coffee is now being served at the produce stand. It is devilishly good coffee and diabolically awesome swag. There's a roast for all tastes and even some you didn't know you wanted. You can order whole bean, coarse, and standard grind and espresso, or if you're like Tanya and me, there's a K-Cup option for single cup brewers. And for the duration of this season of the podcast, you can use the promo code Produce Stand for 10% off anything in the store. That's 10% off all coffee and merchandise. I can't think of a better Christmas gift for somebody who likes coffee. And, he's got great swag too. So check that out. Thank you, Diabolical Coffee, for your support this season. And thank you, Eric. And speaking of support, we have 14 new Twitter followers. So welcome to Corey Prue from Burnaby, BC, Tim Johnston, Joe Middleton from Toronto, Anthony Knollwood, overreactive pop culture news for nerds and geeks from Minneapolis, Joel Zimmerl from Los Angeles, Xander LaFranc, Joyful Designs Limited. That's Heather's company there. Michigan's Squirrely Dan, Joel Gagne from Sudbury, David Newman, Sarah Keller, Victor Palomino from Kentucky, and Christian Vester from Eastern Slopes of the Rockies in Alberta. Thank you all for following and hopefully for listening.
Previously on Letterkenny.
Last week, we recapped and reviewed episode 3 of season 9, Scorched Earth, with our friend Crystal, and that episode got a fresh rating from everyone, every single one of us, except Matt, who inexplicably gave it a clearance. According to our scientific Twitter poll, 77.3% of you were right, and 22.7% were as wrong as Matt was. So this week, we recap and review episode 4 of season 9. I've done my homework. Victor, have you done your homework?
It is.
Tanya, have you done your homework?
It is.
Matt, have you done your homework?
Once.
Oh, awesome. Have you done your homework? All right.
Well, don't bore us. Get to the chorus.
You guys, we open with Squirrely Dan waiting on Ellen for a double date with Wayne and Rosie. Squirrely Dan is hoping to have a normal date with regular conversations where the topic doesn't turn to sex, because that's all they ever talks about is sex. Ellen arrives and introduces herself to Wayne and Rosie, who are on their best behavior. Squirrely Dan offers to get Ellen a beer, and Ellen offers to get it herself and offers to get one for everyone else. So she asks Wayne and Rosie if they like beer.
Of course.
You Labatt your ass, we do.
On what, I haven't seen Gail in a hot sec. Maybe we could convince her to moose head on over.
She was whipping up some Carlsbergers last I checked.
Best Cronenbergers in Letterkenny.
Rosie compliments Ellen, saying that she's a pretty gal. She could be a Modelo. This gets a Michelob bones from Wayne. Gail approaches their table and continues the beer-themed jag, but she takes it to the typical Gail direction, which gets Ellen going as well.
I was booking my pap smear. Cause pure needless to say, and I don't take this bud lightly. Done so much toe curl in this quarter, I'm pert near strong bow-legged.
Better trim your Anheuser-Busch.
Ellen!
I'm light on bush, actually. I'm bush light.
Good. Makes it easier for the guy known to Inspector Stella Artois.
Not the most ideal time for Alexander Queeps, eh?
Hey, if you've got the Schlitz.
Belle told me one time I had a scent that could only be described as bohemian.
Well, once a blue moon, I also smell like the Pacifico.
Something straight out of Bavaria.
Not to harp on it all day, but...
That's the risk you take exploring this old speckled hen.
It's as if sometimes I just bear no soul.
You'll see all the bad habits this lifestyle fosters.
Do they still make you rolling rock a piss into a cup?
They do, but careful. They can test your pee for kokanee.
The corona ads on doctors these days.
You know, doctors do the most Molson Dry reps of anyone, right?
Still, I wouldn't mind one between my Smith wickets.
Anywho.
Gail tells Squirrely Dan that she likes Ellen and cut to Squirrely Dan and Wayne outside with the dog. Squirrely Dan says it never takes long. Wayne's surprised they omitted a beer vagina themed pun like red stripes, and we cue the theme. All right. I guess it starts with me first. I loved the idea of a double date with Squirrely Dan, Ellen, Wayne, and Rosie. And I wish they hadn't wasted it on a cold open. I got to say, I wish that was like an episode or a main storyline, an episode. This cold open was fine. It was just fine. I guess if you're a beer fan, you'll really appreciate all the different puns. I appreciated many of them, but for me, it was just kind of an okay cold open. Nothing too great about it. Victor, what do you think?
Same as
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like they should have saved that for the body of an episode. They really should have. It would have been so much fun. In terms of the cold open itself, there was some cleverness to it. If you're into all the different beers, it's just like I enjoy when they do the wrestling bits and whatnot. So probably if I was like a really huge beer connoisseur, maybe it wouldn't have made it better. It's just like it is what it is. It wasn't funny. There wasn't anything funny about it. Is all it is.
Yeah, it was a lot of clever stuff, but yeah, nothing.
It was clever, but it wasn't funny.
Nothing too funny. Yeah, you're right. Tanya, what do you think?
Well, there was the exchange, the looks, as Ellen and Rosie were talking, and Wayne and Rosie, kind of the look of shock and awe that the conversation was going that far. Like, kind of had to laugh too that here. Squirrely Dan thinks that he can bring Ellen to Modean's where Gail works and not have a conversation about sex. Like, he's purposely saying, okay, let's not have a sex conversation for once. And I'm like, dude, why'd you bring her there then?
Yeah, I should have taken her to church. Actually, no, not church either. I don't know where you take her. In Letterkenny, there's no safe place.
Probably not. Maybe the strippers? I don't know. Maybe that's where they don't talk about sex. I don't know. Yeah, I just thought that was comical.
I know. We've watched this twice. And you laughed both times when Gail said that she's been told she smells like a bohemian down there.
That's a great line.
So I know you laughed.
That is a great line. I love that line. I'm like, so it's such a descriptive, like very. I love that word. I just love it now.
Matt.
Yeah, I memean, there's a couple. So first, I was tripped out right away when Dan kicked it off. I'm so used to hearing Wayne do the opening little the other day, and to Dan, so that threw me right off. It was fine. It was clever. Victor made reference to the wrestling one. Not that I'm a big wrestling fan or anything, but I thought that one made a lot more sense, and I enjoyed it a lot more. They did the same thing here, and yes, I am a beer guy, and I got it. It was super clever. There were some really good ones, and I really felt that Ellen and Gail carried it when they took over. There was some. I definitely laughed pretty hard at a couple of the comments they made. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was fun. I don't know. There wasn't much beyond that. It was just a fun laugh. I gotta say though, our boy Dan, he's having the time of his life right now. Let's just call it out. Let's just call this out.
Yes,
that's his girl.
Bravo,
Good
Squirrely. Yes.
Bravo, Squirrely Dan. Enjoy, my friend.
Yes. It's amazing that he was ever, stuck between Lavina and her. Like, it doesn't make much sense. But
well, it depends. I mean, but yes and no. It depends on what you're looking for.
Sure. Yeah.
But good on him. He's having some fun, and I love it. I think it's really fun to love them together. So good on him.
Awesome. What did you think of this?
So I actually really like this cold open. Have any of you ever heard of John Valby, who is a stand-up comedian?
No, that doesn't ring a bell.
Is that what you just dumped here in the chat?
Yeah, that's what I just dropped here in the chat. It's the beer poem. And
how long is it?
If you can imagine this, it's a couple of minutes. If you can imagine it, it's even more filthy than and foul than McMurray ever gets. I don't know. This may be something for the after show.
Well, let me just play a little excerpt of here and let's hear it.
All right,
let's do it.
The old candy bar poem. We got any veterans out there? I will listen. We finally wrote a beer poem. You want to try it? All right, it goes. The ice house was rocking because the Schlitz were all there. Guys were popping silver bullets. There was Bush in the air. While the bats blew a Canadian, Jenny creamed up her twat, gave Southern comfort to Samuel Adams while Molson licked her golden spot. Pabst put up a blue ribbon and said we'll have a competition to see which lady's honey brown is truly fucking bitchin'. Killian read the results. Miss Miller won. We laughed. But when she spread her legs, we all felt a genuine draft.
Oh. But did you hear a whistle?
The orgy that followed was a real wild turkey. I was Smirnoff the juice from my little beef jerky. Johnny Walker blacked out and woke up to find Pete's wicked moose head shoved up in his behind.
Oh, boy. All right.
Foster had a Spanish...
We're going to...
We're going to cut it off there.
We'll cut it off there. That's the beer poem by John Valby. If you guys want to look it up on YouTube. There's another minute of that. I mean, again, clever. And because we're all listening communally, there was a lot more laughing than when I was watching this cold open. But I mean, it was
highly relevant. Well done.
Yes, very, very.
If I knew all the beer references, I think it would have been way, way funnier.
Well, I did know them all. Yeah.
Funny. It's not funny. It's familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I knew more of those ones than I did the Letterkenny ones.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
So I actually sat down. I did a count, and between Wayne and Rosie, in their little conversational, in that front half of the conversation, they got 16 different ones in there.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of them that don't even sound like beer names, but are that I recognize. Yeah.
Yeah. And between Gail and Ellen in their little side half of the conversation, there's 22.
Wow. So 36 altogether that you could count.
Yeah, that I could count. And I mean, I'm pretty up on my beers. I mean, I'm not like a nerd about that shit or anything, but one of my favorites was definitely Stella Artois.
Yeah.
I think I'd heard of all of them, and if they're ones that I didn't know, they just went past me. I didn't realize it was even a beer. But
are they Canadian or are they U.S. or blend?
There's lots of. They did Harp and Guinness and Smithwick's
and Foster's was in there.
Yeah, Foster's. Yeah,
Soul and
Bohemian, Old Speckled Hen.
Bavaria.
Yeah,
Bohemian is a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
So there you go. The one thing you laughed at.
It's like Pabst, right? It's like a $2 beer in a college bar, and by bar I mean it's like under the student union building. And
it's the American version of Labatt Blue.
Gotcha. Oh, I didn't know that.
Anyway, so we'll move on to scene 1. The Hicks are sitting in the farmhouse kitchen. Everyone's a wee bit hungover. Rosie asks Katie, who's cooking? Katie says it ain't her. Squirrely Dan says no one wants to cook when they're hungover. Katie doesn't want to cook, even considering the amount of time cooking takes versus the amount of time it takes to eat. It's like driving for an hour to a movie theater, watch a 5-minute short film. Rosie adds, but dudes who can cook can get it, like Wolfgang Fuck and Bobby Lay and David Bam and Gordon Bang. Sorry, I missed the G there. Gordon Ramsay and Wayne still thinks Ramsay fucks with his hair too much. Derry guesses that it's good that Gail is serving lunch at Modean. Or no, what is this? No, it's good that Gail's serving brunch at Modean's today.
There you go.
Yeah, sure, really. You heard it here first.
But I think brunch is a little bit.
Well, I 100% think brunch is a little bit.
You could just as easily call it late breakfast and avoid the.
Yeah, the term brunch is definitely what makes it a bit.
Well, since none of us feels like cooking and Gail does, why don't we boot on over to Modean's for some brunch?
Oh, fuck, I'd boot over. Rosie, boot over.
I'll boot over.
Dan, boot over.
I'd boot overs.
Katie, boot over.
I'd boot over.
Gary, boot over.
I'm surprised we're not booting over right now.
Fuck, boys. Let's boot it.
Riley and Jonesy. Next scene: Riley and Jonesy arrive at the arena for their beer league hockey game. It's Sunday morning, by the way. Jonesy asks Riley if he'd heard that China is having a shortage of ninjas. Riley wonders if they shouldn't go. Coach intercepts them in the hallway. The game has been canceled on account of there not being enough bodies on the other team because it's Sunday morning beer league hockey. But it's not a problem since beer league hockey isn't about playing hockey. It's more about having beers with the boys before, during, and after the game. So coach invites Riley and Jonesy for a beer. Riley and Jonesy don't even make an excuse. They just walk away from coach and discuss what their plan is for the rest of the day.
You think what I'm thinking?
Sex?
With girls!
Wheel Snipe sell you, boys.
Wheel Snipe cell phone. Wheel Snipe sold me.
Stick taps and dating apps.
How's your swipe game, buddy?
Buddy, I'm swiping on all 4 cylinders. I'm legendary REM frontman Michael Swipe. You?
I'm Rowdy Swiper.
Ripping tarps off puck pics on my Tinder.
Clutch. Mandatory pick of a fish you once caught for added depth.
Ripping dog pics and suited up snaps on my Bumble.
Dapper look appealing to the ladies have first choice ordeal. Wise.
Ripping travel pics and food pics on my Hinge with one well thought out office reference.
Hashtag Thunder Move.
Waitlisted for Rhea.
Overrated.
I gotta say though, bro, I fear we're fast approaching a world where we've smashed every smashable broad within 100 fiscal kilometers of Letterkenny.
Sometimes I match with a broad and I'm like, I would smash that broad. Then I cruise through her pics and realize I've already smashed her.
With Tinder, Bumble, Hinge all dry and being on the wait list for Raya, Riley and Jonesy are back to figuring out what they're going to do with the rest of the day. Then up walks Avi Goldstein, played by Daniel Harosh. He's towing a hockey bag on wheels behind him, which really gets on Riley and Jonesy's nerves. If you can't carry your own hockey bag, you shouldn't be playing hockey.
Is that a thing, though? Is that genuinely a thing?
That's a thing.
I think so.
That's
yeah.
a thing.
Probably.
No, hockey players don't carry bags with wheels.
I've heard our neighbor say that to his own son.
Oh yeah, to his undersized,
really,
10-year-old son, yeah. Riley and Jonesy get over Goldstein's wheeled hockey bag, but then he gets down to his proposition.
You ever heard of J-Swipe?
No.
It's a dating app just for Jews.
Are you Jewish?
Full Jew, buddy.
But we're not Jewish.
They had to check
Doesn't
with each
matter.
other.
You have the option to set your profile to convert. Click that button, start smashing Jewish broads immediately.
Really?
You know how many Jewish broads I've smashed on there?
How many?
4. Just 4. That's how many Jewish blowies, though.
How many blowies, though?
265, 270.
Whoa, that's like a blow every single day of the year.
You guys are looking at me right now like you've never heard about Jewish girl blowies.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, clueless is just kind of my resting face.
Growing up, Jewish girls go to sleepaway summer camp every summer where they practice giving blowies for like 2 months.
Oh, you could get really good at blowies on a program of that kind.
Be blowies every day.
Or Blowy Deschanel.
David Blowy.
I feel like there's a lot you guys don't know about Jews. Allow me to give you your Jewdification. Jews Clues bring you up to speed on Jewish broads and their people so that you can better navigate J-Swipe.
Call me Jew Barigma.
I'm Jew Barrymore.
All right, before I move on, awesome. Is this true about day camp?
Okay, listen.
That is the question.
Yes,
oh my God.
That's the question.
Yes,
Fair
sleepaway
question.
camp is a big fucking deal in Jewish culture, especially Jewish American culture.
That's not why I'm asking.
We do summer sleepaway camp.
And
she's dodging the question.
She's
now.
dodging the question.
And I'm not going to dignify the question.
Thank you. Good
Fine.
Lord.
So I did.
But it's true.
I'm like Jonesy. I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn.
Yeah, you're here to learn about Blois.
Exactly. What's that, Victor? Were you?
I did summer sleepaway camp.
Did you learn how to get
sleepaway
blows?
camp?
I was thinking the same thing.
But I never got any such awakenings.
Awakenings. Instruction. All right. So
You guys are not going to camp right now.
all right. Okay. Goldstein tells Riley and Jonesy to follow him. They walk off, but not before Riley and Jonesy berate him again for towing his hockey bag on wheels. When Goldstein refuses to pick it up, Jonesy picks it up and carries it for him. Next scene. At Modean's 3, Bonnie arrives at work with a box full of groceries to make brunch. She asks Gail if she knew that Victoria's Secret is having a shortage of models. Gail responds by saying maybe they should go. Just then, the Hicks arrive and sidle up to the bar. After a typical inappropriate Gail comment, Bonnie warns them that Gail has the hangover hornies. Katie says that there are 2 guarantees with the hangover: hungry and horny. Derry offers to help Bonnie with the groceries.
Hey, Bonnie, you want me to help you unbox that before this place fills up?
There's so much for me to work with in that sentence, I may just fall over.
What you got there, Bonnies?
A lot of eggs, a lot of meat.
Eats, meats, repeats.
Love meat.
Same. Yawn.
I love meat so much, I wears it.
Oh, like Lady Gaga at the 2010 MTV Video Music Awards?
Inspired by the Canadian artist Yana Sturback.
Was she really? I too might have an interest in wearing meat, although it would have to be cooked, or at the very least cured.
Slip into a pair of boxer beefs.
There's only one cure for the hangover hornies, Gaylor.
Let's get hangover hammered.
All right, I just looked up Yana Sturback, and there's a picture of her in a meat dress. That's wow.
She was first, was she?
She was first. She beat Lady Gaga.
Was it cured?
I don't know. Check it out. 1987. Yeah, it's an interesting picture.
Very progressive of her.
Very progressive, yes. All right. Let's see, where am I? They all do a shot of Gus and Brew, and then we go to next scene. Goldstein is giving Riley and Jonesy their crash course in Judaism.
LK's already got a major shortage of Jewish broads. I'm talking about single digis, and I'm pretty much the only full Jew in town, which puts me in a very advantageous position. One that doesn't necessitate you two goys coming in and fucking with my reish.
You just call us gays?
Reish?
Goy, layman's terms for non-Jew, and reish as in ratio, as in I've got a hype ratio going, all right? I've been wheel snipe selling like my bar mitzvah money hasn't run out, and I am not coming down from this chair.
So you're like a full Jew then, hey bud?
Schnoz and all, boys.
So you can't eat pig?
I crush mad bacon, boys.
Wait, but don't Jews have to have sex like Mennonites do, where there's a sheet between them and the girl they're smashing?
I crush strictly non-sheet snap, boys. Don't get that twisted. And also, do you guys really think that all Jews are exactly alike?
Jonesy apologizes for their ignorance. They're there to learn. Goldstein says that part of him still wants to protect his reish, but there's a little thing in the Jewish religion called a mitzvah, the act of doing a selfless good deed out of the kindness of one's heart. You're supposed to knock off as many of them as you can.
So we're your mitzvah boys.
Mitzvah men.
Class is in session.
Sick.
Tight.
Hype.
Next scene, the Skids are in their lair. Connor and Darian are playing with the model train loaded with rips. Stuart is sitting in a chair looking very bored while Roald massages his hand.
Did you know Ibiza is having a shortage of DJs?
Should we go?
Stuart, you know what that was?
A sigh?
'Twas. When was it we last ate?
Must have been earlier tonight?
It's tomorrow.
How can it be tomorrow? It's today.
The today you're thinking of was yesterday.
Today is yesterday?
So before I move on, Victor, what model train was that? What gauge, track? Come on, give us some specifics.
It's your standard HO gauge train, and it was a diesel locomotive.
Mm-hmm. And does it come with
what's HO?
It's just that's the standard gauge.
Did you pause it and rewind it and zoom in?
N gauge, Z gauge, HO gauge, S gauge, O gauge, and this one is HO, which is the standard.
Interesting. Yeah, Matt's
Victor,
falling asleep.
Victor, would you classify doing model train rips as caboose abuse?
Oh boy.
Yes, as fun as that sounds, there was a caboose on that train, but they weren't utilizing it. They were using a flatbed, and I believe.
what you guys all don't know, and you're being all smug about this, is model train rips is how Victor got through college. Anyway, we'll move on. Stuart can't remember what they did the night before. Rolled reminds him they played Mario 64, 150cc, Acid Rainbow Road on repeat for 4 hours. Stuart was Peach. Stuart thinks Peach is so fucking fine. Stuart announces that what they need is sustenance. More than model train rips, they need actual food. Rold informs Stuart that post-breakfast, pre-lunch is being served at Modean's 3. So Stuart asks Rold to brunch, but not before doing a train rip first. Next scene. Back at Modean's 3, the place is starting to fill up for brunch. The Hicks sit at the bar judging everyone who comes in, commenting on all the fedoras and trilby hats. Wayne says that's why brunch is so... And he puts his pinky up. And there's just something so fucking city about it. Derry adds, when have you ever heard somebody from town saying, let's do brunch? Dale slams a let's do brunch sign on top of the bar. She's exempted, of course, because she's got to make a buck.
Yeah, like town people don't say brunch, just like town people don't wear fedoras.
I know lots of town people who wear fedoras.
But do you care to?
I don't have a problem with people that eat brunch. There's nothing wrong with enjoying breakfast food slightly after lunchtime. My problem is with people that brunch.
Yeah, it's the people that want to make sure everyone else knows they're doing brunch.
It's like trying to make brunch a thing.
Feel ya. Ever been in the city on a Saturday or Sunday morning? There's lineups out the door for brunch.
I'm told that's every day in Vancouver.
Could make a good buck making eggs for the people in line.
Yeah, but see, the people in line wouldn't want them because it's not about the eggs for the people in line. It's about brunch.
There is nothing cute about standing in line on a Sunday for 6 hours, drinking your alcoholic orange juice and aviators, eating off your $30 artisanal cheese board, listening to Gastro House.
Before I move on, I just want to note that Matt is now wearing his fedora.
Yeah.
My cheese board is on the way.
And a cheese board.
Oh, no, that is, as Dan says, that is a dumb fucking trilbies.
That's a trilby? What's the difference? I don't know.
So a fedora has a wider brim, and the trilby has the brim that's like curled up at the back and sides and goes forward.
I see. Well, there you go.
It's not very convenient for headphones.
No.
Just want to make note of that as well.
Well, take a take a screenshot. So
I did.
Okay,
I got
good.
it.
We'll share it out to the DM group so they can all make proper fun of you. All right, next scene. What's that, Victor?
No, the slimmer headband, the slimmer what is it? Bill is the trilby. The broader one is a fedora. Indiana Jones wears a fedora.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, admittingly, this actually isn't. This is Jen's. I just thought it was funny. But I used to own several back in the day when I thought it was cool.
Were you into ska?
Before that, actually, I was. I used to skank and ska and do all that shit.
Skank and ska.
I went through really weird phases where I thought different things were cool, and I owned some fedoras.
There we go. Victor's putting his trilby on now.
Yeah. I also used to rock leather cuffs at one point. I don't know.
Okay, you need to take another screenshot, Matt. I don't have one because I can't buy one that fits my head.
How many do you have?
Oh, that's a Heisenberg hat, isn't it? No.
I don't know.
Well, I can't see because he's not saying anything.
No,
so
anyway.
Anyways, I went through some weird phases. That's all we have to say.
Moving on. Stuart and Rold walk into the bar. The Hicks begin to pepper them with their usual insults, but Stuart dodges them Matrix style. Except Rold isn't so lucky. Some of the insults ricochet and got him, and he's down. Stuart delivers an overly dramatic, "What happened to civility? What happened to decency?" He picks Rold up and carries him out. Derry tells the others that he heard that there was a shortage of rodeo clowns at the Calgary Stampede, and Katie suggests that maybe the Skids should go. Next scene, Riley and Jonesy's education continues.
First off, Judaism, a very minor religion. Only about 0.2% of the world's population are Jews, and just about over 40% of them live in Israel. Shout out to the homeland. Although small for religion, Judaism is influential as fuck.
Like Kanye?
Yeah, like Kanye. Mad small, mad influential. So right off the bat, let's start with something you know. The Jewish Bible is called the Torah. The Torah is what you know as the Old Testament. Same shit.
Same shit?
Same shit.
Kind of lazy, no?
No, mad hype. So check it out. There's this dude, Abraham, and after God goes around, asks a bunch of other dudes with other names that they want to be his chosen people, God lands on Abraham and is like, yo, want to be my chosen people or chosen guy? Whatever.
Sick.
They strike up a deal and become boys, and in exchange for following God, Abraham will receive hype land that he will rule, as will his future generations to follow. Israel. That's the guy.
Hi.
He goes on to tell them Abraham has 2 sons, one with his wife named Isaac, and one with another one with one of his slaves, and that son's name is Ishmael, who goes on to birth Islam. But this is not what Riley keys on.
Wait, hold up. So Abraham had a wife, but he also had sex with his hot slave.
Ever said she was hot?
And then this hot slave had a kid who fucked off and started his own shit?
Yes.
That's pretty baller.
Very baller shit.
It's like Sopranos level baller.
Christopher.
Goldstein says it gets crazier. Tells Riley and Joan that in order to prove his loyalty, God asks Abraham to kill his son Isaac. But just before he's about to do it, God says, "Just kidding. Wanted to see if you'd do it." This act of loyalty impresses Riley and Jonesy.
Basically, Jews will always prevail.
How?
Well, we believe it's because we follow the simple rules. We worship only one God. We study the Torah to further understand his brilliance. We procreate and make new little baby Jews. And we do hella mitzvahs.
Mad mitzvahs.
Basically comes down to being good people, doing good things out of the kindness of your hearts, and not merely for your own benefit. Hence, me risking my rage by welcoming you guys to J-Swipe.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
And furthermore, educating you on Judaism so that you can flex knowledge on / impress Jewish broads.
Thanks, bro.
Got you.
Goldstein tells Riley and Jonesy that they're honorary Jews now and asks them what their first mitzvah is. Next scene, back at Modean's 3, the Hicks have just finished their brunch and they're stuffed. Rosie and Wayne split to rock a nap-ish. They walk off and whisper off to a chorus of whispers of sex from Stewart and Rolled. The Skids also excuse themselves. They're off to play Super Mario and do rips. Katie says there are 3 things that are guaranteed in a hangover: hungry, horny, and hibernate. Squirrely Dan asks if they want to go watch the movie Twisters. Bonnie asks if it's even on. Squirrely Dan figures there's a baker's dozen channels that have it on loop 24 hours a day. So Squirrely Dan, Katie, and Derry leave to watch Twister. Bonnie likes the brunch program. Finish mid-afternoon and close the business down siesta style for a few hours. She wishes Gail luck with the Hornies and joins the others for the movie. As Bonnie leaves Gail, Dickens walks in and sidles up to the bar.
Jim Dickskins, you hungover?
Stewart and Rolled pop back up from behind the bar, whispering sex. Final scene. Riley and Jonesy come out of the dressing room with a group of little kids carrying their bags and sticks. Goldstein sees them.
Boys, minutes into honorary Jewhood and you're already ripping hype mitzvahs. Oh, good thinking, because you hate wheels on bags for adults. These little bagel bites, they kind of need them until they grow big enough to carry their own gear.
You're never too young to carry your bag into the rink.
If you can't carry your bag into the rink, you really shouldn't be playing hockey.
Selfless acts, boys. What do you say we go smash some J-Swipe?
You know, we really appreciate you risking your race for us.
We'll just give you a head start.
Yeah. Plenty to keep us busy right here.
Like what?
Go to mommy.
Sick.
Tight.
Hype.
And fade to black. All right. That's the episode, and I guess I start. Oh man, where do I start with this? Let's see. I mean, we already talked about the cold open, and it was just okay. And I mean, the rest of this episode was just okay. There wasn't a lot of stuff that I could pick out that was like super great. It was just okay. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't bad. Just okay. I can't even think of anything that stands out other than Riley and Jonesy and them. Playing along and learning about Judaism and them going crazy about somebody who dares to pull a hockey bag behind them on wheels. Riley gives some pretty funny faces where he's got like an eye twitch going, which is pretty impressive to be able to pull off. And Jonesy's comments about that's his resting clueless face. That's probably the line of the episode for me. I thought it was, it was so perfect and well delivered. Other than that, I mean, the brunch thing was interesting. It's kind of the reverse of We Don't Fight at Weddings, where it's not the city, it's being idiots towards the country bumpkins. It's the other way around. It's the Hicks being, kind of intolerant of the city people and their brunch routine. I love brunch, and I'm not from the city. So, and Toronto's a big brunch city, but, Brunch is I'm a fan of brunch. Anyway, I can't say much about this except it's just an okay episode. It's kind of very, very kind of middle of the road. Victor, what do you think?
I wish we could have just stayed with the train for the entire episode, and then I think we would have we would have been good. But it kind of went off the rails.
Boy, there we go.
Delicious pun, Victor.
Keep going. Yeah. Keep going. You're doing well.
And the thing is, the thing about the whole brunch thing is, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't get it. I've never heard people being offended by brunch before. I never even thought of it as a thing. Like it's like for me, brunch is no different than lunch or dinner. You go and you have brunch. You don't. It's not a. It's I don't associate it with a lifestyle.
Yeah, like whence comes this animosity?
Yeah. Like I don't understand where I've never seen it and I've never heard it pointed out the way it has in this episode, or really in any way. So I was a little bit, detached from that.
Well, but you live in Toronto. You live in Toronto, which in Toronto, brunch is a big thing. But actually, in small towns,
it's not a big thing. It's a thing.
No, it's a big thing. It's a big thing.
No, it's not a big thing. It's a thing.
Okay, but it's a thing enough that you recognize it as a normal thing.
Yeah. Toronto is known as a brunch city. Trust me. You live there. You don't know.
For you to say that,
I'm not just saying that.
Then you might as well say that breakfast is a big thing.
No, you're missing.
There's more people going for breakfast than there are going for brunch.
Okay, you passionate man. You. I think what it is because they are farmers. Like you wake up bloody early. You eat. And you go touring. Like there's no time for brunch. You're still working. Like it's get up, get your food, and get going. And I think brunch.
Can I say something actually?
Yeah.
Please. You get up, you get working, and then you eat breakfast because your ass is up at 3:30, 4 in the morning. You immediately get started touring. You eat breakfast at around like 6:30, and then you go back to touring.
Let me read something off the internets here. Brunch isn't just a millennial movement, even though they're one of the target demographics. Brunch culture is trendy in larger cities like New York and Chicago and Toronto and smaller college towns. Brunch isn't a new concept per se, but the ideas of combining alcohol and brunch and breakfast foods is relatively new. So brunch is not, it's not like in small towns, it's not really, I mean, it's just breakfast is what you eat when you wake up and lunch is what you have as your second meal and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Brunch is something you do on Sundays sometimes.
Okay, it's clinical.
That's it.
I just read you a thing. It's clinical.
Yeah. Okay. What's your source, though? I want to know your source here.
This is from.
And what is the date?
2019 November.
Yeah, 2019 November. I don't know what this is. What is the brunch capital? Oh, and by the way, the brunch capital of the world is something Turkey.
Istanbul?
No, what is it? Lunch capital of the world. Kahvaltı is served all over Turkey, but in Van, an area in the country's deepest east next to Iran, is universally recognized as the world's breakfast capital. And not brunch, but I don't get that. But anyway, it's clinical. It's on the because
you can totally believe everything you read on the internet.
Yeah,
that's what it's coming out of Turkey.
Anyway, brunch is not a thing everywhere. It's a thing in cities. And that's why they're keying in on it. They're like,
I've never heard anyone be offended by it. Is all I'm.
Because you live in the city.
Exactly. Anyway,
what are you missing?
Anything else about this, Victor, other than the whole brunch thing?
No, like I said, the train scene was fun. There was two scenes with the skid, the train, which was epic, and then. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell why did they walk into the bar in the first place?
Well, they were going for brunch, but
were they though? Because they left.
Roald got hit by unfriendly fire. That was such a weird scene. Yeah, it was.
They left like multiple times,
and then they showed up again at the end of the bar.
Yeah, they did. They ended up having brunch, and then they left and came back. Yeah.
I missed it.
Anyway, it was comical. It was very skittish. It was definitely a very skittish scene. Tan?
I disagree with you guys. I loved this one.
Really?
There was so much.
Wow.
There was so much that that popped out at me, and I thought it was great. did you? Okay, so it bothered me. We watched it twice. So the first time through, I'm like, what the hell is that triggering in me? And I couldn't remember. And then finally, the second time I watched it, I'm like, holy crap! This show, it chimes into kids shows. And I don't know if you noticed it or not, but there's repeatedly they do something that mimics a kid's show. So when Wayne was at the table, the kitchen table in the farmhouse, he was going around the table going, "Do you want? What do you think, Katie? Do you want?" And it was just four squared, the kids show that we used to watch with the kids, the four squared. He would ask. Peppy, do you want the
right? Okay.
I would and anyways, it mimicked that show. And then again, when Riley and Jonesy were having their conversation, they coined Drew's Clues instead of Blue's Clues.
Drew's Clues.
Yeah, Drew's Clues. That was great.
Yeah. There was a few.
Yeah, that cracked me up.
There was a few different children's shows that were referenced in the show.
Okay.
The whole brunch thing. I love brunch. I would eat brunch every single friggin' day. I anything that I can put more food on my plate and like
and followed by mimosas.
And mimosas is like my favorite drink ever. Like that's just that's just
order
perfect.
the fucking pitcher and put it on the table.
Perfect. I'm like, we call champagne French water with juice. Love it. Bring it on. Like everything about brunch, throw me on some asparagus and eggs and like expensive eggs. Cause if you're going out somewhere, they hike the price of those things up.
But you're a Benedict gal, I can tell.
Oh no, I can't. Lactose intolerant.
There's a place in town here that's got like 50 different kinds of Benedict.
They do though. They do.
Yeah, that's me.
They have crab cake Benedict. They have prime rib Benedict. It's Benedict crazy. Everything.
They put everything on that shit.
One of my favorite restaurants out here does a lox Benedict, and that is genuinely the only Benedict I will eat, because everywhere else you go, it's all ham.
Yeah.
Lox. What's lox again? Lox.
Well, no, because
smoked salmon.
Oh,
smoke. Oh, okay.
Smoked salmon. Yeah. It's great if they use pumpernickel bread instead of
instead of English muffins. Yes, or fucking rye. I love like a sour rye.
You guys are making me hungry. I want to go for brunch tomorrow.
I want brunch right now.
And all you can eat can eat brunch is like, my God.
Well, I discovered breakfast poutine, where instead of gravy, they put hollandaise sauce and an egg on top of your fries.
That sounds delicious.
Oh, it's incredible.
Sounds like a heart attack.
Absolutely incredible.
It sounds like when we went. It sounds like when we went to Disney World and they had macaroni and cheese on top of French fries with gravy. I'm like,
that's like American
hell.
poutine, mac and cheese on fries.
I would eat that.
On in that
I would
plate?
eat that. I would potatoes, cheese, pasta. I put it in my face.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
Anything else you enjoyed about this?
Okay, so when they were talking about dudes that cook, I'd get with a dude that cooks, man. Like food is.
Excuse me.
It's like food is a pre-orgasm foreplay, 100%. Like hands down, food and food is just perfect.
But
when
Tanya,
it's
wait
done
a second.
right.
I feel like wait a second. So if they were talking about brunch as a good thing, I would get your enthusiasm. We're all on the same page in terms of being enthusiastic about brunch. But the whole premise of this is to let's make fun of the brunch people, right? Even though they were serving brunch at Modean.
Yes, because they're in a small town. The whole purpose of this show is to contrast small town life to city life.
Yes. And I'm just asking Tanya not to get excited for the wrong reason. That's all.
Okay, no. The conversation around the breakfast table there in the farmhouse kitchen is about food in general.
Yeah.
And then it shifts into brunch specific. But the food in general, yes.
But they went on for so long on the brunch thing.
That's what they do.
Both the ladies say that men who can cook can get it. And that is true. Men who can cook can get it.
Yeah.
Okay. But like after that generalization, then they switch into like mocking brunch gear.
Yeah, no, the brunch turned into the pickle. So, and I have this argument all the time. I love pickles, but don't put them in my sandwich. Put them on the side, because if you're going to put them in the sandwich,
this is one of the rants he had at the keg on Saturday night.
This is so last week.
This is one of his rants on Saturday night.
Saying, the pickle will dominate the flavors, the other flavors around it. And
brine is a very strong flavor.
Yeah, and that's what happened to brunch. Brunch ended up dominating that conversation. So yes, they were talking about food and guys, but the brunch ended up dominating, just like how I'm dominating right now. It just became
it's cute that you think you're dominating.
Friday Night Victor.
That's cute. I know my sister and I, like, when we are going to plan a get together, we have a very lengthy conversation about the food that's going to be made. Like we talk about food. So I can completely get behind that whole conversation. Best sentence, best line, Gail. There's so much for me to work with in that sentence. That was phenomenal. I love the way she delivered it. I thought that was a great, she was so on the ball on this one. Riley and Jonesy. Oh my God. Like those two is just, they're two people, but they're one. I loved how they checked in with each other to see whether or not they were Jewish.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that was one of the things. They have to check in with each other.
I thought they were going to check. I thought they were going to check their drawers there for a second.
They stole the show.
Am I circumcised?
Yeah, like they stole the show completely. Like and checking in with each other, and like clueless is my resting face, as Al said. Great line. I love how
that is the best thing that Jonesy has ever fucking said.
Yeah,
genuinely.
I love how he had to try to help his buddy out with, like, you got to look past the wheels on the thing. Like it was perfect. It was just so perfect. My question is, if Riley and Jonesy are now honorary Jews, are we also honorary Jews from watching the same thing and learning what they learned? Can we check that box off now?
No, hold on. There is only me and Victor here, and that means that we're like 8 people short of a minion, so I can't say one way or another.
Oh, you need minions? What does this big old me have to do with this?
A minion is a group of 10 or more adult Jews who can like confer between the lot of us and come to a decision.
Well, so
I'm sorry.
Goldstein didn't say that Riley and Jonesy were. Well, he said they were honorary Jews, but he said all you have to do to join this app is to say you're willing to convert, and then you're allowed to be on the app. Right?
And then he said that they're honorary
That's
Jews
correct.
now. Go forth and Jew.
Yeah,
right.
Whatever.
Jew.
No, and again, he has no authority to say that because he's not a rabbi and there is no minion.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, we've got to circle back now. So a group of Jews, a group of 10 Jews, so a group of 10 Jews is a minion.
Is a minion. MINYAN.
I gotta
okay.
add.
YAN. Gotcha.
Not those yellow guys.
I was
I'm picturing right now.
The yellow dude.
I was picturing the yellow.
I was picturing his
all I hear
those yellow guys.
All I hear in my head is "baboy, baboy."
You're killing me, Smalls.
I've got to add that to my grouping list because, like, that's a surprising learn for me.
A murder of crows.
A murder of crows.
A floodle of dicks.
A gaggle of geese.
And thanks to this podcast, we know.
And now a minion of Jews.
And don't forget the floodle of dicks, because I had to look that one up.
Floodle of dicks.
Yeah.
It's not a collective noun. It's just a noun.
Are we teetering on not PC here? Because we're not meaning that.
We're killing Victor, though.
You're killing me. I'm just a little more verbal.
All right. Can we move on?
Maybe.
Did you make all your points?
No. I have another one.
fuck?
Dickens coming in and the camera cutting off his head. Love that. I thought that was freaking hilarious that they didn't scan up.
At the end there,
Yeah, they didn't scan up. And then the skids, like, again, just popping up at the end of the bar. Like, and yeah.
And now we know from our interview with Tyler that was improvised, that they added that during the scene.
Oh, did they then?
Yeah.
All right.
He enrolled, started just saying sex. And I think either Kiso or Tierney said, we like that, do that again, and just keep on doing that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That seems to be how a lot of this show gets made.
Yeah.
Hey, I like what you did there. Keep doing that.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Matt, what did you think of this episode?
Damn it. So there's pros and cons to going last.
Well, you're not last yet. Awesome's last.
You're not last, bud.
I know. And I know Awesome always has lots to say. So she's good. She's good. I love you, Awesome.
We've already said everything you wanted to say. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And even like what she just said.
But
was
who said it better?
Well, we'll find out. Yeah, well played. Yeah, I mean, so I will loop back to Al. I do tend to agree with you. The episode as a whole didn't do a whole lot for me. But what it did do, and what I think has been pointed a lot, is I focused in on little small trinkets throughout the show that made me laugh quite hard in weird moments. Like, yes, the Jews Clues thing killed me, and more relevant because I am actively watching Blues Clues on the daily with a 2-year-old. And let me tell you, if you don't ever watch this, Josh from Blues Clues, the new guy, I could listen to that guy all day. He is the most calming.
Better than Steve and Joe?
No, they're all good. They're all the same person. I'm telling you, it's fucking weird. They've typecasted this role, and you're just like, when he talks to the camera, I feel like I'm the only one in the world, and it's amazing.
My girlfriend
went. Bit of a crush, Matt?
No, I don't. He's very
you
engaging.
Fucking liar.
My girlfriend once told me that she was sicker than a dog. The kids were out of the house, and she somehow still found herself watching the kids' programs because it made her feel better.
Yeah, he's so engaging. You're just like, you want to know what he's saying. Like, tell me, Josh, what's next, bud? Where's Blue? Where's he at? So that made me laugh because it's very relevant to me right now. The whole skid scene in their lair, as you call it out. I honestly, it wasn't until we listened to it again during this recap that I heard anything that Roald and Stuart said, because I was so fixated on Danny and Patrick on the ground there. I watched them go around and around and around, and Patrick blowing the smoke on the train, and Danny loading it up with coke, and then he had a little like a razor blade or something. He was lining up the lines, and Jen and I were both laughing just watching. Like, did you?
And they're wearing Danny's wearing the train hat, the conductor's.
It was
hat.
amazing. I just wanted to watch them all day, figure what they're gonna do, and I'm like, here they go. That's such an efficient way of doing it. I love.
Well, they were probably doing that for 24 fiscal hours too, right? So
right. I'll also
24 calendar hours.
Yeah.
Right. I'll also echo. I think Jonesy and Riley were real winners in this one. That whole scene where they're getting the Judaism thing that killed me. I found myself fixed. I was reading everything on the board. The one that I got so smashed to make new Jews. I was dying. I read that out loud like multiple times. Like, that's the best thing on that whole board.
What was it?
So it said, if you saw the list of things,
there's like 3 bullet points he has under.
It said, read the Torah, something. Smash to make new Jews was one of the.
Do hella mitzvahs.
Yeah, do hella mitzvahs, and I was dying on that. I mean, it's such a brilliant board. But his little description, I was totally engaged. And sorry, what was the guy's name who was
Ari or Avi?
Avi Goldstein.
Yeah. I listened to everything he said. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm learning.
Isn't he a writer on the show or something?
He gets a credit for this show. He's also the guy from Epic Mealtime.
Well,
he's one of the presenters on. He's one of the presenters on Epic Mealtime, which is like a YouTube series.
Yeah.
His name is Dan Harush.
Yeah.
And he is, as he says, full Jew.
Schnoz and all.
So, and when he said, so then maybe the I crush bacon.
Crush Mad Bacon, boys.
Mad Bacon is specific to Epic Mealtime because if you've ever seen Epic Mealtime, they crush Mad Bacon.
Oh yeah,
they do. They crush. So lots and lots of especially North American Jewish people do crush Mad Bacon. I am not one of them, but that's a personal choice.
You're not supposed to.
You're not.
You're not supposed to.
In the parlance, you're not exposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other quick comments I'll make. So yes, Tanny, you stole my thunder on that one. I was obsessed when Dickens walked in. They cut off his head. I'm like, that's brilliant. And I kept thinking, do they do that every time, or is this the first time? Because that's the only thing I saw in that scene, and I'm like, that's so smart, so great. It definitely just showed how fucking tall he is, and I laughed my ass off.
They do it a couple times. This isn't the first, but it is one of the most prominent.
Oh,
but
it's so
it's
noticeable.
just like when they do the porch scenes, right? And Wayne, Derry, and Dan are sat on the porch, and you see the railing for the porch go like right through their heads and like obscuring the bottom half of their faces.
They like doing that a lot because they do it in the porch scene, but they also do it in the kitchen too. Sometimes they'll do the shot from behind the counter and the low hanging cabinets.
And you'll see like the cabinets, and it'll cut off part of their
Wayne will stand up, and you'll only it'll cut him off and stuff.
I love the highly intentional shots. It's just it almost feels like an error, but it's so
right.
It's just
okay. So it is one of those things that you were specifically taught, like capital N, not to do in
the
film
rule of
school.
thirds.
And then like when you do it intentionally, then it makes more impact.
Yeah.
You know,
and
so
you catch it and you
I love the cinematography on this show.
It's so good. The last comment I'm making is kind of going off into what I wanted to see or what I thought was missing from the episode was Glenn doing a mitzvah episode. And maybe this goes on to Victor's comment from last week about Glenn pasteurized. Yeah, maybe it's been pasteurized. But I mean,
depasteurized.
Depasteurized. Either way, it was brilliant, Victor. I'm trying to give you credit here, Victor. I thought it was a brilliant comment. I thought there was an opportunity there to see some crossover, and I don't know how they would have done it, but I would love to have seen Glenn come in and give his take on everything. But either way, it was fine. It was fun.
Like from a cultural standpoint, that's a bit tetchy. So I'm kind of glad they didn't bring Glenn in on this episode.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go off on a brief tangent here, but growing up Catholic, I used, I had this I had to learn the Old Testament just as well as the New Testament. So I had like one of these Bibles at home that had like pictures in it. And if you can be traumatized by just a picture, there was a picture, and it's a drawing. It's not even a photograph, a drawing of Abraham with his son lying on a slab, and Abraham with a knife up to his son's throat. And that picture is still burnt in my memory today, to this day, about that story about God telling Abraham that he's got to kill his son. And then, just kidding, we didn't mean it. But yeah, that picture, it's still to this day. So watching this episode, it brought back that the memory of that picture. So maybe that's why I'm not too keen on this one. It kind of traumatized me a bit. Awesome. What did you think of this episode?
All right, let's get into this shit, shall we?
Tell us how you really feel.
We haven't yet?
No, okay. I genuinely do love the cold open from this show. Like, I want to make that clear. I think it is fucking hilarious. Not just the beer puns itself, but the premise. Like Victor said, I wish I could see a whole episode of Wayne and Rosie on a double date with Dan and Ellen. I think that would be great.
It's a great idea. I wish they hadn't wasted it on a cold open.
Yeah, okay, correct. That was your point. I sorry, Al. I apologize.
Victor agreed.
Like,
I did agree.
The thing is, right, is like, it's so funny to me that like Dan, so Dan says he just wants to have a regular conversation, and then Wayne's like, define regular, and it's like, so just regular, nothing fancy, nothing quirky or clever, no patterns or devices, nothing creative. And then they cannot help themselves. Both Wayne and Rosie cannot help themselves, and they immediately start in on the slew of beer puns.
They gave each other just a slight little glance and then went right into it.
They look
right?
at each other and they're like, are we going to do this? Yeah, let's do this. It's fucking on. Let's go.
Yeah.
That was so fucking perfect.
And that is such a friend thing to do, right? It's like, oh, you don't want me to do?
Like,
oh, yeah.
Your friend specifically asks you not to do the thing. And then you look at your significant other
like, let's
and immediately dig as deep as you can.
Take it all the way. Absolutely.
Take it. And then again, the line at the end with like Dan, going, about missing one, and Wayne says, yeah, we a bit of a mix of relief and disbelief that they omitted one, and then getting into the red stripe. That will never fucking fail to make me laugh. That will never fail to make me laugh. One of the things that's interesting about Katie and Rosie asserting that dudes who can cook can get it is we genuinely only really see dudes cook on this show, right? Like the cookouts, and then there's Tanis. That's the one exception. We see Katie serving breakfast, but we don't see her cooking it. But we do see Wayne preparing something in the kitchen in series 1.
Well, wait a second. Gail was making some hot dogs
in the microwave.
I forgive me, but I do not classify that as cooking. All right. Heating up Smokies in a microwave. Nah.
My 14-year-old will be very disappointed to hear that. It's not.
I want to experiment and try that now.
What, heating hot dogs in the microwave?
Wouldn't they like blow up?
Well,
yes, they would, and it's nasty, and don't do it.
I grew up eating eggs in the microwave. Anyone else have that one?
Oh, we tried when microwaves first came out. Yeah,
my girlfriend's mother stayed with them, and she microwaved an egg and with the shell on, and it exploded and hit the ceiling, and it was like,
you don't do that.
Yeah, no, it was the best story ever.
Oh my god. Okay, so like I love the repeated callbacks to there's a shortage of whatever the fuck should we go.
Yeah,
that's
so I was going to bring that up. So that's a repeated joke throughout the episode, which I didn't find funny. Like it was interesting, but not funny. I didn't find it funny.
I mean, I think it's because it shows how like the zeitgeist gets built in a small town, right? So you have one group saying it. So you have Riley and Jonesy saying it, and then you have Bonnie and Gail saying it, and then you have Wayne and company. Well, I guess really it's just Katie and Derry. Derry says there's a shortage of rodeo clowns, and then Katie volunteers the two clowns that fucking
that was the payoff. So they set it up for the first two for that third payoff, which was fine. It was just it wasn't super funny. It was just whatever it was. Yeah,
right.
Like, to me anyway. Okay. I didn't find it funny, but
I thought it was fucking funny. Anyway, so Coach is drunk again already when he comes out
on a Sunday morning, but he's such a good drunk. He's so yeah.
Okay, but so he calls Riley and Josie pheasants, and then he immediately walks that back, which is only the first or second time he's ever apologized.
Well, because now they're equals. Now they're peers. Before he forgot himself, right? He thought he was still their coach. He could
apologize
call him,
for it.
But then when he remembered, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
And then right, later he he's going on about how beer league is just for hanging out with the boys, and I'm like, Coach just wants to hang with Riley and Jonesy since fucking when? Like his whole thing with them up to this point has been really, really, really adversarial. And it's not like he's just shitting on players in general while he's a coach. It's been very, very personal to them because he has praised, the five-headed monster like Bart, Yorkie, Schultze, Fiske, and Boomtown. Like he likes those guys. He has praised Shorzy a lot. He has really specifically only been very, very shitty to Riley and Jonesy.
But again, when he was their coach, but now they're peers. So now, and he's lonely. He's a lonely man.
No. Even when they were peers coaching the women's team, he was super, super, super shitty to them.
Well, but now they're on the same team. They're hockey players on the same team, right?
I mean, okay, but they were coaches on the same team when they were coaching the Shamrockettes. They were gunning for a cup.
Yeah.
You would think that if he was gonna be like supportive of them, that would be the time.
Well, look, I'm not going to defend this episode. I've already given my rating, or not rating, but I already said it's a mediocre episode.
Yeah.
But to me, when they were coaching together, he was still head coach, and they were still below him. This is the first time this season where they're equals, they're peers, they're on the same team. He's no position of authority over them, and he's lonely. He's lonely as shit. All he talks about is his dead wife. And
he's been lonely as shit the entire fucking time.
but the last couple of seasons they have really stressed that.
Yeah,
like
they've ratcheted that up.
The one I can't remember which episode it was where he sat at the bar and just every other word was Barb. Like he has had some really dark moments the last couple of seasons.
That was series 8, episode 6.
Sure, that one. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. He's been extra dark the last couple seasons. So yeah, I think he's at the point of I'm reaching out for anybody, and if these guys are going to give me even a moment of my time, I will grasp on, and they will be my friends, and we will drink and play hockey together.
Yeah, season 10.
I think he's in a desperate spot.
Season 10 will be interesting because he's lost a lot of weight, and I know that's like personally he lost a lot of weight. So whether they'll try to carry that over to his character and build a story around it, like probably because he's like on a bike exercising with Joint Boy in one of
with fucking Tyson.
Yeah, with Tyson, right? So it looks like they are going to play on that, but up until now,
I have no idea what that's about, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. Anything else?
So it is funny to see Riley and Joji just absolutely swerve coach after that bid for attention that he makes.
Like completely moved on with their day.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Because like they have made bids for his attention, and he's just been like, "You're dog shit. Fuck you."
Mm-hmm.
You know, like especially in the Valentine's episode, you know that Coach would not pay $250 to show up to that matchmaking event. So Riley and Josie had to have paid for him in an effort to get him out and socializing with other people.
Oh, that's a bit of a reach. I mean,
I don't think so.
A reach around, if you will.
I think they would have referenced that if that's their angle.
I think they would have. Yeah.
But like Coach is so clearly not ready to move on from Barb, and he is not ready to be seeing other people.
No.
Somebody had to have like dragged him out to that event.
I don't know.
And if anybody was going to do it, it would be Riley and Jonesy, because they have spent their entire careers trying to impress this man and trying to get him to like approve of them. That's all they want is his approval.
When he's been in a position of authority, but now that they're peers, he's no longer important to them, so they can just walk away from him and not acknowledge his yeah. Hey, can we move on to ratings?
Let's see. Hold on. I want to point out Katie is yet again wearing one of Wayne's shirts. And then I want to talk a little bit about Avi's whiteboard there.
Okay.
Like, so he's got like this little illustration up in like the top left corner of like Abraham and then Isaac on the slab. And it's got like a little caption bubble. It says lol JK.
Of course it does.
Right. And then he's got like the pie chart on the bottom where Jews live. And there's one that says it's like the Israel is like the biggest one. And then the US. And then it's got like Canada on one side, and it says you are here, because he has to like specify that shit for Riley and Jonesy.
Yeah.
And then when he says like Old Testament is the same shit, kind of, but not really. Like, so there's the Old Testament, which is the Torah, right? Which is like the 5 books. And then you got the prophets, which is the Tanakh. But there's also a ton of other shit that we have in our scripture that Christians do not have. We have extra books. We have more books than you do.
They didn't make
the Old Testament is the Cole's Notes of the Torah.
The Torah is the Snyder cut. The Old Testament is the Wheaton cut, right?
Yeah. Basically. And like just for everyone's edification here, although I expect Victor already knows this, Torah is an archery term, and it means to hit the target, right? So like it's the commandments that you are given in the Torah. Those are like the things you're supposed to do. And if you can get it, good for you. You know, you've hit the target. And when you fall short of that, that is when you're in sin, and that is when you're in like Gehinom, which is not Jewish hell, okay? Because we don't actually have
no hell,
a concept of hell. That's not what that is.
It's kind of like our performance reviews, where we had a target for you. And,
exactly.
You know, and we were hoping that you would kind of hit it and really not go.
No wonder you loved those.
But
so
if you've
much.
fallen short, then you're in a state of sin.
That's right.
So there you go.
Personal improvement plan.
Oh, and then there's when he refers to Israel, and then Riley and Josie are having trouble remembering the name of the state of Israel, and then like Avi kind of fills in for them and goes, "That's the guy." Except that's not one of the guys that he had previously talked about. Israel is another name for Jacob or Yaakov, which is Abraham's grandson. You know, so that's just
that's by the way, my Jewish name is Yaakov.
Really?
You're Yaakov?
Mine's Elisheva.
Jacob?
You're a Yaakov?
Yaakov.
Smirnoff?
Jacob
Smirnoff?
No. No, okay. And then so like Reish is kind of a funny pun, right? So like he's referring to Reish as short for ratio, but it's also the 20th letter of the Aleph Bet.
Alphabet?
And it's got well, that's where English people get that term. Again, you borrowed it from us.
No, we didn't borrow. We appropriated it. That's what we do.
Okay, fair. Yeah, you stole it. But so Reish is the 20th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. It's got a numerical value of 200, and it's got a couple of different meanings. Like if you use the word Reish in Hebrew, it can mean like poor, as in like destitute, but it can also mean evil. And it also refers to like the body part, the head.
Okay.
So there you go.
Heads are evil?
And then
I knew heads were evil.
No, it's a completely separate meaning. It's very symbolic.
That's why I always say tails. Yes.
I would have to like run an entire fucking class on Midrash to
okay, please don't. We're gonna run long if we do that. Okay.
No. And my last thing here is like I love the fact that Avi refers to like the little kids, the Timbits, as bagel bites. Yeah. That's fucking hilarious.
Oh, I missed that. That is a good one. Okay, that's I'll give him that.
And then like my personal headcanon is like the Timbits team for Letterkenny is called the Goslings.
Because of gooses? Because they're little gooses?
Yeah, gooses and then goslings.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then also, I want to know a little bit, why the fuck, number A, like, why the fuck do Riley and Josie have a no repeats policy? Number B, why haven't they already hit up all the MILFs in the area? Like, explain this.
They weren't thinking MILFs because MILFs aren't generally on those dating apps. So
you would be surprised.
All right, let's move on. I'm gonna move on to ratings, and I'm gonna give my rating first because I'm first in line. And this is absolutely right down the middle clearance. Like I said before, nothing horrible about this episode. Nothing that made it stand out. It's just a straight down the middle clearance. Victor?
It's a clearance. It is. There's really, it's hard to argue one way or the other.
Right. Tanya?
It's a fresh. There was too much good stuff, like too much good stuff.
You misunderstood the episode, but it's all right.
Now, Victor, her rating's her rating. Okay, cool. Matt?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. It's a right down the middle clearance. It was there was enough fun to keep me engaged, but nothing that blew me away. I still feel like
That's
we're in
because you
this.
didn't go to a day camp or sleepaway camp.
Yeah, right. You didn't go to
I was only
Blow
recently
you
made an
away.
honorary one.
So why is
You
sleep?
still haven't fucking been.
Why is sleepaway camp such a Jewish thing, though? Why?
That's
Because a lot of us go to like normal, like English school, right?
Okay.
And we don't get a whole lot of Jewish education.
Oh,
in
okay,
public
okay,
school.
that makes sense.
What did they say?
All right.
Point what
Oh.
percent of the population? It was very little.
2%.
0.02, yeah, like
Yeah.
0.2%.
So that's why they have sleepaway camp.
Okay, well that makes a little bit more sense. I mean, I
got
went
to smash to make new Jews.
I went to
We
Port.
only got 0.02.
So was it Jewish based though? Like was it like learn about the Torah and
I mean, so
And
yeah,
blowies,
there's like
learn
some
Torah.
religious.
It's all Torah
There's
and
some
blowies. That's-
religious elements, but like, so in Oakland, we also have like the Children's Hebrew Day School, which is like a religious school for Jews. You know, it's like going to Catholic school.
Sure.
But it's like one of like maybe like 30 in the whole country.
So
because we have number A, a large enough Jewish population to support it, and number B, like it's really hard to get accreditation in California. So
was it specific though for Jewish kids? Like if you were a non-Jew, could you go
So if
to
you
that
if
camp?
yeah if you were
if you were not Jewish, it's really, 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 really hard to get in.
if you were a
but-
female goy, but you wanted to get really good at blowies, would you be able to get into this sleepaway?
No.
camp?
This is a good question.
No,
All right. Well,
no,
question answered.
absolutely not.
Awesome. What rating do you give this?
So this is a very low fresh for me.
Oh, it's still made fresh though. All right. Interesting.
Because, like, first of all, Jews don't get very good representation in television, which a lot of people would say, but Jews own TV and the media. It's like, no, first of all, fuck you. That's anti-Semitic and that's stereotype. And secondly, like, a lot of the representation that we do get is very based in very negative stereotypes.
Right.
So to see Abby being in the role of an educator and like giving a baseline understanding.
Yeah, and Riley and Jonesy sitting there lapping it up like they're naturally they're honestly curious about it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's nice. And I really enjoyed that. Like, so yeah, it's very like Ashkenazi specific, which I'm not Ashkenazi, I'm Sephardic. I really appreciated Abby saying, so do you think all Jews are exactly the same? Because no, we're not. There's a lot of diversity, even though we're a very, very small percentage of the world population. It's great to see that, like, that's even acknowledged that we're not like a monolith. That's super nice.
That's cool.
And I mean, so I'll quickly say, I mean, and I, not that I know a lot of Jewish people very personally, but I definitely can understand there's a very wide degree of I mean, even to the degree of which faith is there. Like you have this extreme Orthodox side, and then if I'm getting this wrong, correct me, but then sure general practice side. I mean, I live down the street from or Bathurst, which is a street in Toronto. Northern Bathurst is heavily Jewish population. It's
Very orthodox.
Very orthodox.
Okay, yeah. So I personally am not very orthodox. I tend to fall more in line with like the humanist perspective, which like, so Judaism like is an ethno-religion, which means like you can be ethnically Jewish and religiously Jewish. And there are even religious sects of Judaism which do not acknowledge like God as like the supreme being, right? Like there isn't really a God. Judaism is a set of rules that we live by. It's a philosophy rather than, you know, anything divine with like a capital D. So like I'm an atheist, but I'm still Jewish.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's a made up thing. It's not something that goes back to the ancient times. That wasn't the idea, right? It's an evolution, right? It is.
But like most of Jewish culture today is based in Jewish scholarship, which isn't necessarily divinely inspired the way that Christians take the scripture to be divinely inspired. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but Christianity's gone through the same thing. I mean, like 90%
Christianity is just 90%
90% of what is, I have to be careful with what I say here, but a lot, because it's really any religion, but 90% of what we know as Christianity today has been made up since that wasn't the idea. Like
the original,
whether you're talking about Christmas trees, where you're talking about none of this stuff came from the Bible. This is, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
this
in fact, like Isaiah 56 specifically prohibits Christmas trees. Do not bring a tree into your home and decorate it in silver and gold like the pagans do. Like you guys are specifically prohibited from doing that.
Yeah, but Judaism isn't, again, there's a lot of modern Judaism is not that different from modern day Christianity. It's evolved through time to be to kind of evolve with the times and give the ability to kind of live a certain way of life without having to say that there's some, a unicorn in the sky that's making it all happen.
Right. No, my thing with that though is so even atheistic Judaism is more conservative than like say Reform Judaism. And by conservative, I don't mean like capital C conservative like Tories or the GOP. I mean, like through thousands of years of Judaic scholarship, this is the way that this group of rabbis has decided that is the closest way that you can adhere to the Torah, right?
All right, we're going to move on just because we're getting away from the paid content.
Yeah, this is kind of off topic.
Letterkenny.
Sorry.
I think, we save it for the after show. We need some fun stuff for the after show. Let's move on to top fives here. This is going to be quick. It doesn't make my top five. Victor?
No.
Tanya?
No.
No. Matt?
Or no.
Awesome. Does this?
No.
No. All right.
No.
Cool. All right. So we'll move on to MVPs quickly. So my MVP, and I was just going to give it to Jonesy, but I feel like, they're a pair. They're one person. So I'm going to give it to both Riley and Jonesy. Jonesy delivered the line of the episode, but both of them had some of the best scenes, the funniest scenes of the episode. So I'm going to give it to them for sure. Victor, what about you?
I will disagree with you, though. I will agree that it should go to a pair, and the pair are Danny and Patrick, because they killed it this episode. It was easily the best scene in the episode, and they teamed up like master and commander. And my goodness, did they achieve greatness?
The model train would have.
I heard a train whistle at some point. Was somebody blowing the train whistle?
The model train had a whistle.
Oh, yeah. I thought one of them had like one of those wooden whistle train whistles.
Not that I saw. I think it was from the train.
Oh.
What about you? Who do you give the MVP?
You took the words out of my mouth, Alan. It was absolutely Riley and Jonesy. The pair of them, they sync up and they share a brain, and they both get the vote.
And they learned something new. Matt, what about you?
So it's funny. We're actually all pretty aligned tonight with the thought that my initial reaction was Danny and Patrick, and I don't even like trains, but that scene, I did not hear a single word being said, but I will give a very strong honorable mention to Riley and Jonesy, because I loved everything about that. I thought their lines were great. I liked their general interest and genuine, like, let us help us. I loved it. I thought they played a really cool part in this entire episode. So yeah, that's a double there.
Okay.
No, you doubled on the double?
No,
quadruple.
Danny and Patrick are as MVP, but a runner-up would have been
honorable mention
or honorable mention.
Okay,
awesome.
It's just a double.
I thought you were double dipping.
Awesome. No. How about you?
I'm giving the MVP to Avi. He was willing to take on those two nutsacks and take them under his wing and teach them the shit they needed to know.
He sacrificed his race for them. Yes, that's
right. No, and like he was like at several points in his presentation, they like gave answers, and you can see it in his face, and he's still like, you know what? Close enough.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you. All right.
Very good. Okay, moving on to seeing the future. Now, Awesome, you and I are disqualified from this. Victor, what do you want to see? We've got, what is this, episode 5? 4. This is episode 4. There's 4 more to go. 3 more to go. 3 more episodes. What do you want to see for the end of this episode?
It? 3 more?
For season 9, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I want to see them expand the layout of that train set.
Oh, jeez.
Of course you fucking do.
Okay. Tanya, anything that's not train related here?
Yeah, just more like what's going to happen with this relationship with Squirrely Dan and Alan, as well as the relationship with Gail and Dickskin. And
Dickens.
Yeah, I'm still enjoying. I'm mesmerized by Gail and Wayne. Yeah, just the relationships. Like to see what's going to happen with them all.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, this whole season is very. I mean, we got on tone there for a couple of seasons where we had a bit of a story. This one doesn't really have any defined stories for me, so I really have no clue where it's going. I do agree. I think there's a lot of relationships going on. That seems to be it's a very consistent theme for Letterkenny since back to season 1, right? There's a lot of relationship stuff going on. So I don't know. I mean, I like the Dickens and Gail. I don't think it'll blossom into any big story, but if they did, cool. I don't have a good answer for you here.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Okay. Moving on. There are no listener comments this week, but I do want to talk about just quickly about some. Last week in our episode, we dissected the trailer that came out. But those of you who weren't on the after show afterwards didn't see. We actually played the trailer and went like 50% speed and went screen by screen on the trailer. And there was something interesting that came out that I really want to talk about. The scene or the screenshot with the dicks. We're all excited. There's going to be a dick episode in season 10. And in that screenshot, we see Noah, we see his wife, Anita, and we see what I think is one of their daughters. And it looks like, and Awesome, back me up on this. It looks like she's got a baby bump.
She does not have a baby bump.
Are you
she just
sure?
has a tummy. I am sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't go throwing out accusations like that.
I don't know. That looked like more than a tummy.
It's just a tummy.
No.
Okay.
If it's not completely protruding,
The Mennonite girls are thick. Okay.
I will bring
You're
up
the only thick broads on this fucking show.
I'll bring up a screenshot and show you guys later.
There's at least 3 Three's Company's episodes that should have taught you that you should not make such
tread carefully, my friend.
I got excited because how great would this storyline be? She's pregnant, happened during their Rumspringa, and one of Riley and Jonesy are the father. Oh, you can't see that. That's like you can't see that. Either
I can see that.
One or both of Riley. She's carrying.
Looks like a bump. It is a bump.
That looks like a bump.
She's carrying twins, and one of each.
No.
Okay, bring up the screenshot. I want to see
holding the
this.
milk. The one holding the milk,
Yes.
ready to feed the baby.
Yes.
You gotta share your screen.
Oh boy.
Because I can't see what you're fucking talking
It's
about.
my cell phone.
Okay, so but throw it on the.
Okay, you guys vamp while I bring it up. So talk about something. Go ahead, Austin. Talk about something.
Well, we can always make this part of the.
Yeah, no, I genuinely do not think that they're going to have any pregnancy complication storylines simply because number A, they've already fucking gone to that well. It's tapped out.
No, they went to the well on like about the abortion, but this one here, she's going to keep it because she's a Mennonite, and it's one of each. One of them's Riley's and one of them's Jonesy.
No,
it would be perfect because they're one person.
Dude, there's no old people. There's no babies.
Like series 10 would have been 2 years after series 6 because there's been 2 intervening winters. If she's pregnant, it's not fucking Riley or Jonesy.
That's not fun.
Yeah, no.
I like this idea though.
It would be so much fun.
But the timeline is not real in Letterkenny.
Yeah, so it could be. We could have some fun with this.
No.
Don't
too
fucking
far.
no, we're not doing this. Because if I entertain this shit, then I have to entertain the fact that a lot of people think that Mary Fred is pregnant with Wayne's baby. And I'm like, no, bitch, can you not count?
Well, I hope they don't go there, but I'd love to see this storyline if it happened. Where the hell is it? I'm looking.
That would mean that Riley and Jonesy smashed one of the Mennonite broads after her gap year, and I don't think that's on the table. I just don't.
Oh man, I keep on missing it. There it is. Oh,
like, okay, fucking.
There it is. Stop. I keep. Okay.
She's not fucking pregnant, and you are reaching. Like, you should warm up and stretch before you reach that far, because you're gonna pull something.
All right, share the screen and. Okay, look at that, Tanya. I know I'm not supposed to assume a woman's pregnant.
Everyone listening home, this is good.
I know this is horrible for podcasting.
No.
Yeah,
that's not a baby bump. That's just her being a little thick. That's
no.
But she doesn't.
She's got those dainty wrists.
This is so
and she's got that big bump.
She doesn't look like she's generally bigger to have a belly like that.
That lady standing next to her in the pink, she's thick.
That's Lavina.
That's Lavina. That's
I know who it is,
Charity
but
or
the
Chastity.
point remains.
Yes, but no, that is a bump, and she's got the baby milk.
The milk, the symbolic
it's just milk. It's not anyway.
It's milk.
When I
saw
that is cow milk, man.
No,
that's cow's milk.
Okay.
No,
well, obviously it's cow's milk, but the point is symbolic.
Listen. Even if the actress is pregnant, that does not mean the character is pregnant.
I know, but how fun would that story be?
Wait a second.
How fun
You're
would
not
that
wrong
story
there,
be?
but they would. But like casting directors are smart enough to know. Don't do something like that. Don't hire.
Okay, hold on. Well, I mean,
one in that situation.
They
No. Okay,
the matchmaker and Valentine's
that's like
Day.
a 4 months.
Yeah,
pregnant kind of
the
look.
matchmaker and Valentine's
she
Day.
gotten the role before she got knocked up.
The matchmaker and Valentine's Day was pregnant, and they didn't mention it at all. So,
but it was irrelevant to the story overall.
You're right. I'm just saying, I got excited at the prospect of that potential storyline. I think that would be a fun storyline.
I'm with you, man. I love that idea. That sounds.
That is not how Lennox.
Jonesy, ergo the bump.
No.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna, because they're gonna freak out and think it is theirs.
Listen, if we're gonna have an honest to God pregnancy resulting in kids storyline, I want to know what the actual fuck is up with Shorzy claiming to have knocked up Riley and Jonesy's mums.
There's that.
Let's resolve that.
I don't remember that.
That maybe that'll lead to his banishment from Letterkenny, and then
When did that happen? Did I miss something?
Series 7.
Yeah, when after they won the championship, Riley and Jonesy are up in then the bleachers looking down at the empty arena, and they're getting all misty eyed at the fact that they just won a ship, and then each one of them individually gets a text from their moms.
From their mums asking where Shorzy is. And then in Series 7, Shorzy claims to have knocked up both Riley and Jonesy's mums after taking him to the fucking with the knights.
Medieval times,
right.
yeah.
Yes. So, but that might be an interesting storyline. I find this one a lot more compelling. But anyway,
again, they never follow up with their storylines really anyway.
But
so
that would be so much fun.
It would be a complete and utter reach if they went in that direction.
Okay, so like Shorzy started chirping Riley and Jonesy about sleeping with their moms.
Oh yeah.
In Series 3. And then like in Series 5, we see that pay off. And in Series 7, that escalates. Mm-hmm. So, when we didn't get another payoff in Series 9, I'm like, are we, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. I would love to see a payoff in Series 10 or 11 even. Mm-hmm. Like,
well, maybe we'll get it. I mean, maybe that's why he gets banished from Letterkenny. Who knows? All right, we're approaching 90 minutes here, so let's end this off with final comments, and I'm going to start because I'm at the top of the list. Awesome, once again, as always, awesome job. You brought the knowledge tonight. I mean, you were the perfect person for this episode because Victor,
I try.
Victor doesn't know anything about Judaism, so. Matt only
knows at least as much as I do.
I know. Matt only found out he was Jewish last week.
I don't know.
He didn't
Victor,
even know.
did you know it was a minion for a group of 10 of Jewish people?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. I know my stuff.
Okay.
But did you know it was a minion for 10 people? 10 Jewish people.
And I also knew that it wasn't a yellow pill or whatever those things are.
A yellow
Yeah,
pill.
exactly.
The Minions, the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yellow
gotcha.
Minions.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure.
Beep, bop, bop.
Yeah.
I should have known to go abstract with Victor. All right. Anyway, thank you, Awesome, for coming on tonight. You're the perfect person to have on here. Once again, happy Sabbath. And
Good enough.
Yeah. Because I forgot
how you were like
Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat.
Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for happy Black Friday. Victor.
Awesome. You brought the Jews clues, so thank you for that. And
The Jews clues.
And I'm guessing you're getting ready for Hanukkah as well, because that's just around the corner.
Oh yeah, we're having our fry up on fucking Sunday night, but
Yeah. There you go. Anyway, same as usual. You were terrific tonight. So always a pleasure to have you on. And over to you, Matt.
Oh, Tanya.
Or whatever.
I'm the host.
Oh, you're just stepping on all kinds of feet there, aren't you? Too excited about those trains. Awesome. It was such a pleasure to see you again. Always fun hanging out with you. Shabbat Shalom. Did I do it?
Very good.
Way to make me look bad. All right. And Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy. Awesome. Always a pleasure. I'm glad I made it through a full episode with you here this time.
Oh, right.
You're right.
So I think the last
Last time we had some technical
You didn't lose
difficulties.
your shit. You didn't lose your shit this time.
But that was
Fucking
weird.
literally.
Questionable meat earlier today, so I was like, oh, but no, we made it. We're good. I got to stop eating risky. But
yes, you should.
If you have to ask the question, is this okay? Then you shouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
Especially on game night. The fuck?
On game night, exactly.
I like to eat.
I like to eat too, but bitch, I did not eat straight meat tonight.
Straight meat.
But yeah, I mean, it's always a pleasure having so much fun. Yeah, you brought the knowledge. This was an interesting one for me. Because again, I'm definitely learning. I personally have never been drawn to religion. I don't follow any, and that's my choice. But I'm always interested. I'm like, there's a lot going on, and this is one of the really dove into it. So I learned a couple things. It was a fun one. So I'm glad, and I was thankful you're here to open some of that light for us.
All right, awesome.
Well, I very much enjoy being on the produce stand as always. I'm glad to be able to edify you guys a little bit. I hope to see everyone on the Zoom at the after party in a couple of minutes. I do need a little bit of a break because I have in fact killed an entire bottle of wine in the course of this conversation.
Atta girl.
Well done.
Atta girl.
Mazel tov.
Fucking great for you.
Right,
Good
yes.
vocab. There you go.
I'm going to play us off here with a song from this episode called Slip Away by the Favors. We'll let this one marinate for a second. And once it loads up, I should have really loaded this up by now. Here we go.
Yeah.
One job.
Yes, one job. And that's all we have for this episode. Next week, we will be joined by Chad. What? You don't hear? Oh, I'm not sharing my audio. When I stopped sharing my screen, I stopped sharing my audio.
Al, you're going to actually have to do some legit editing tonight, okay?
No editing. I don't like editing. You know I don't like editing. Well, it's a great song. You'll have to take my word for it. It's a great song.
Loves music.
Oh, there it is.
It's a really good song. No, take two. Hasn't stopped playing. You guys are just
Take two.
All right, here we go. That's all we have for this episode. Next week, we will be joined by Chad to review and recap episode 5 of season 9, Sleepover. Don't forget to give our sponsor, Diabolical Coffee, some love. They are at diabolicalcoffee.com. Right now, you can use the promo code ProduceStand for 10% off any purchase from their site. If you'd like to support this podcast, rate us on iTunes, become a patron. There's a Patreon link on our site or Twitter profile at ProduceStandPod. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Protestant Pod. Thank you for joining us. Now we're going to have some brunch, followed by the movie Twister, and maybe a nap. On behalf of Awesome, Matt, Victor, and Tanya, and myself, thank you for listening. Have a great week.